here. It's really on the opposite side of town from the gas station that we focused on last night, where the surveillance video was of the car. What we know, Ashley, is that within the last week, I don't have a specific day, but I know within the last week, police showed up at that state liquor store and that they got video, surveillance video from the store. There are cameras on the outside of the store that point towards the road there and the parking lot where the liquor store is. And it's a busy area. There's hotels around. There's a couple of other stores. There's one of the cameras right there. You can see the way it points out. And then there are also cameras inside the store. I wasn't able to get specifics about whether police were interested in the video from outside or inside, but I am told that they got everything they wanted and that they were there within the last week.
So here's where I get confused. I would have assumed the minute you kill 4 people, you are amscraying as fast as you can in the opposite direction of where those murders happened. And yet, it almost seems as though the gas station's on one side of town, there's liquor stores on another. I haven't been there. So from your perspective, what does this tell you that there's video in 2 different locations that's of interest to the police?
Well, what it tells me is I don't know that we should read too much into thinking that these things are specifically connected to the crime. Number one, Ashley, the video from last night, we went over it so closely, you and I. It is blurry, and we don't know for sure that it's a Hyundai Elantra. The gas station, you see the map again where the video came from last night. So that could be totally unrelated. And then the liquor store, we don't have enough details. I mean, have they just been going to different stores trying to get video? I've told you before, there's a lot of stores here that don't have cameras because there's not a lot of crime here. Are they just hitting up every store that has a camera and trying to see what they can find? Or is there a reason they specifically targeted this liquor store? At this point, we don't know. But it is interesting that they just went there within the last week. Did something cause them to go there just within the last week? Again, things, police aren't giving us those kinds of specifics.
And how about the lucky break that the video still exists? We're 31 days out. Everybody knows that video is a finite compilation. Storage space is limited. And, you went to a place last night, a vape store that was just down the road from that gas station, and they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. We didn't have any. It had all been taped over or it was gone from the buffer. Those are frustrating questions I think the public has a right to ask, because we have been told all along that there is this, almost 100-person force that's descended onto this case, Brian. So it's distressing to think that 31 days, and just in the last few days, we're hearing that video is being collected. I would have assumed just about every point of reference in Moscow would have been collected on the off chance there'll be a tip about a car. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the direction. I'm going to ask our control room to put that map up again, because when you say that they're far between each other, if you started the crime scene down on the left-hand side of your screen on the bottom, it is really circuitous to get to that gas station and drive by and then end up way up at the liquor store. Could you tell me if there's like an I-95 escape route that would be quicker if you went that direction? Like, does that direction make any sense anywhere if you were to go by the liquor store first and then the gas station, or the gas station first and then the liquor store?
Not really. And I'm looking at the map, and what's interesting is in between all of these locations is the University of Idaho. So the campus is in the middle. And what I've been trying to figure out, you mentioned the vape shop. We went to the vape shop yesterday, which is near the gas station where the video was taken, over on the right side of your screen. They say the police came to their establishment 9 days after the murders looking for video, and they didn't have it anymore because their systems delete video after a week. So that was 9 days after the murder. The liquor store says the police came within just this last week, which is interesting when you look at the timeline. Why were they interested in the area where the vape store is early on, and now they seem to be focusing, or at least looking for video in the area where the liquor store is, which is on the other side of town?
A month later, yeah. Okay, I have to ask this last question because obviously, Brian, all of these questions are excellent questions for the police. And I know our viewers have been watching this story and they will know what today is. Today is Wednesday, exactly 4 weeks since they held their press conference last. And now we can't ask these questions or get public scrutiny on the work of the police. Do we have any idea when they might face reporters again?
Well, we expect to be able to talk to the police tomorrow, to the public information officer. And look, I sort of get it. I mean, when there's not a big update, what is the point of doing interviews when you're just going to sort of say the same thing and in a way just kind of frustrate people? So I think that today they chose to sort of have an off day, and then tomorrow, hopefully, maybe we'll get a little bit more information.